Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my little corner of the interwebs. Today, I'm finally doing what I said I would do. I know it takes me a while to get to these things, guys, but I always get to it. And I'm going to be testing out Moira Cosmetics. Now, I talked about Moira Cosmetics a couple of videos, actually probably multiple videos over the last couple of months, because I picked up these palettes last year on a whim, and I mean like true whim. It was like 1 a.m. and I saw an ad, so I bought a ton of Moira Cosmetics because it's a super affordable brand. I don't know if it's technically considered an indie brand, but the prices are definitely drugstore and in some cases super cheap or cheaper than drugstore. So I've had these products sitting in my little basket of shame for some time now. And I'm finally getting to it because I wanted to just sort of test out this brand, see if it's with anything, and let you guys just kind of know my overarching thoughts. You all know that I sit very squarely in the luxury tier of shopping, if you want to call it that, where the vast majority, if 99.9% of the products that I own tend to be luxury or high-end makeup. So when it comes to drugstore stuff, I'm usually not impressed and I typically don't go for it. But the price was just too right, and so I had to pick up a couple of products to try. So I do have a couple of different things in the basket that I want to show you guys. But before we dive in, if this is your first time watching me, welcome. I'm Jamila and I love all things beauty. And on my little corner of the interwebs, I like to share any tips or tricks that I have to find high-end and luxury makeup at the best prices. Not breast. I keep doing that. I'm talking too fast. That's my own fault. Anyway, that being said, I don't believe in paying full price for makeup, so that's why I like to share any of the tips that I have. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, you might like the videos on my channel, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss any content from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you guys all of the products that I have. I'm not going to be able to use everything in this video because I did buy, not a lot, but a couple different things in the same category. So I'm not going to be able to use all of it, but I'm going to show you guys all of the products so you see what I have, tell you how much I paid for it, and then I'm going to apply some of it onto my face. Also, I recognize I look a little crazy, so ignore the hair. Got my little... Oh, it matches my top. I did not plan this, but I put it on here so my hair would look like less crazy. I don't know if it actually works. Anyways, so let's just go through all of the products that I picked up. The first thing that I picked up was an eyeshadow palette from the brand. This is called the Time to Shine palette. It's a part of their Celestial series. There were actually a couple different color stories, and this is the most neutral one, and I've been in a very neutral phase. So honestly, packaging, 10 out of 10 for indie, super stunning. And I paid $17.50 for this. I do want to flag that I was able to use a coupon code, or I think it was an influencer code, which saved me a couple of bucks on it. So I'm not sure what the original price of this is, but I paid, on my receipt is saying $7.50. So this is the outer packaging. When you open it up, there's these two like wings that flap open. Oops, sorry. And then this is the palette. Now, while I do like the packaging that it comes in with that little wings thing, this is chunky. Like, it's really fat. And I don't know how I feel about it. And then when you open it up, this is the palette here. I do have some artificial lights going, so it might be a little bit blown out. I apologize. But this is the color story. Again, very neutral, very beautiful. You get some really nice embossing in the shadows. And I'm seeing really good depth here, which I'm excited by because you guys know, as someone of deeper complexion, I'm always thinking about, is it going to work on my skin tone? The next thing that I picked up was their signature ombre blush. This has gone viral, I think, a couple of times because it has a beautiful, beautiful ombre effect. I'm going to swatch it. And I'm mad I'm like messing up the embossing, but you know, ooh, that's pretty. Okay. Nice pigment. So we'll see how this blush looks on my skin tone. And they do have a ton of different shades in that ombre blush series. So if that's not your color, you can definitely find other options. But I will say the embossing in that is so beautiful. So the next thing that I picked up was 3 liquid eyeshadows. Now, 2 of these are one formula and then one is another formula. So the first formula is the Super Hyped Liquid Pigment, and that's these 2. And I got them in 2 shades. The first one being Golden Hour. So this is Golden Hour. Swatch this here. The second shade is Crazy in Love. Added a little bit more. So we have Golden Hour, Crazy in Love. Like I said, that is the Super Hyped Liquid Pigment. And then the last one that I picked up is the Diamond Days Liquid Shadow. And this is in the shade Ego. Now, this seems to have separated a little bit, so I'm just gonna try to get that back together. So here we have Ego. I'm gonna swatch this right under here. That is pretty. So here we have the 3 liquid shadows. I will say I feel like these have pretty obvious, sizable kind of glitter particles in there. I'm not a liquid shadow gal, so I don't know why I picked these up. But again, this was months ago. So I'll have to try these out at some point and see. Now, in terms of pricing, there are different prices for these two. So the Diamond Days one, which is the last one that I swatched here, this one was $8, and the Super Hyped Liquid Pigment, which is the other two, that one was $7. Oh, sorry, the Diamond Days was $8.50, so a little bit more expensive. Not 100% sure why. The next thing that I picked up was the Set and Correct Loose Setting Powder. Now, this I thought was interesting because this powder is, well, it's technically 3 powders. So you get a translucent shade, a deep shade, and then you get the pink powder. And I picked this up because this was at the time where that pink powder was going viral, and I was unwilling to pay what the other brands were charging because I didn't want a full-size pink powder. Quite frankly, I don't think it's going to look good on me. I mean, I'm very yellow. I feel like pink is just going to make me look sick. So I was like, okay, I'll pick this up because it's cheap. And if I like the pink vibe, then I could possibly go for the more high-end options. Now, this powder retailed for $12. So $12 and you get 3 different shades. And what I did see a makeup artist do on a reel on Instagram is they actually mixed the powders. So they mixed the yellow and pink to get the perfect undertone, which I think is actually a good idea. You know, the more I like learn about undertones and skin tones and whatnot, the more I realize that makeup artists spend a lot of time customizing things for people. And when we buy these things directly from the store, we don't even think about customizing it for ourselves. So just something that I thought about. Okay, the next thing that I picked up was 2 of their multi-chrome eyeliners. These was $6 a piece. So the first one is this green tealish one, and it is called Rhea. And I really like that they packaged the pencil in the shade of what the multi-chrome is going to look like. And this is actually transparent, so you can see through and see how much pencil you actually have. This is the amount of product that you're getting. Literally, that's it. I don't know if other brands have more, and that's probably why this is so cheap, because like I said, $6 a piece. But let's swatch. Ooh, that's pretty. And you can kind of see the shift. Now, Millie from Bad to the Brow, who's a creator on this platform, she has done comparisons of multi-chrome liners because there are a number of them on the market and the price of them ranges significantly. So this is probably one of the most affordable options you can get in terms of multi-chrome liners. And then the second one is called Buzz, and it's this blue-purple multi-chrome. And I should point out that there is a sharpener on the bottom as well. So you can pull off the bottom of the pencil to sharpen the point of the multi-chrome. So you have that blue-purple shade. There we go. And these are very soft and creamy. I like that these don't feel like they will tug or drag on the eyes. And I can definitely see the shift. Okay. So far, so good. 2 remaining products that I picked up in this purchase One was a liquid eyeliner. This is a white liquid liner. I picked this up because at the time I had been like, oh, I'm going to be doing more like ethereal, like not ethereal, graphic liner type things. So I'm going to need a white liner. So I picked this one up. I have not done graphic liner really. So hopefully we'll get there. But this was $7.50. And then the last product is this hydrating lip oil, which was also $7.50. And this is in the shade Honey Boo. So there are other colors or other lip oil options as well. I'm just gonna swatch this here. Oh, that's nice. Now, none of these seem to have a scent really, so I guess these are all fragrance-free products, maybe. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and start slapping some of this onto my face. But before we do that, I just want to say the total that I paid for all the products that I just showed you guys was $72.30, which honestly is just phenomenal because as I showed you guys, there's a full-size eyeshadow palette, 2 multi-chrome liners, liquid shadows, a lip oil, a regular eyeliner, and a setting powder. So $72 for essentially 6, 7, 8, 9 products is quite a steal. So hopefully the products perform well because that's really going to be the true test if this was worth it. Now I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer because the first thing I'm going to do is apply the lip oil before diving into the eyeshadow. Okay, this is actually thick for lip oil, but I will say it does have really good pigment. Sometimes lip oils will look pigment, like there's a pigment in the bottle, but then when you put it on your lips, it's like transparent or translucent. This is a very pigmented lip oil. I will say I also think the doe foot is nice. It's not too big, it's not too small. Okay, initial reaction. This feels more like a lip gloss than a lip oil. It is very, very thick. It's not as emollient as I'm used to when it comes to lip oils. So I'm not sure how I feel about the formula. I do like the opacity of the shade, but I'm also like, that's not what a lip oil is supposed to do. So the jury's out. We'll see how this wears throughout me applying this look, and then I'll come back and give you guys like a longer thought. But of course, everything I'm doing here today is a first impression, so take it all with a grain of salt. I'll have to keep wearing these products more. Okay, let's get started on the eyes. Now, I've already primed my eyes, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're actually gonna dive into the eyeshadow palette today, not the liquid shadows, because this is what I'm most curious about. And these liquid shadows have dried down so nicely. Oh my gosh, like there's no like transfer or anything. And oh, this diamond one has so much sparkle. So I'm beginning to understand why this was $1.50 more. It has a lot more sparkle, and it seems like it has a little bit more base to it than the other two. And then you guys can get a closer look at all of these swatches. Now that I have you guys a little bit closer, I want you to see the color story just a little bit up close. And I really like this color story. I think we get some nice neutrals that are both kind of like warm and cool. And I think we get a mix of like just regular browns, but also like more purple leaning browns and greens. So I think that this is a really nice neutral color story. So I'm excited. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Just in Time, which is this shade in the middle. And I'm going to use that as my transition shade, popping that into the crease. Now I am both excited and scared because you guys know ooh, that's powdery. I'm very particular about my matte shadows, so bad mattes can make or break a palette for me. This is actually quite nice. Okay. Okay, this is off to a very good start for me. Next up, I'm gonna go into the shade Day, and I'm gonna start deepening up the crease. So far, this is blending and building quite nicely. Okay, next I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go into Spotlight. I was debating between Spotlight and Tempting to use as my outer V corner, but let's start with Spotlight and see if we need to add more depth with Tempting. So again, taking that same brush, as always, I like to start, okay, let's just stamp it in and blend it out. And this shade is rich, so I probably don't even need to go into, yeah, I don't think I need to go into that other shade. This has great pigment, but it is also diffusing nicely, so even though I had a pretty heavy hand. Oh, this is going on so beautifully. Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like right now. I am loving this so far. So let's go ahead and dive into the shimmers. So many choices. Okay, I think I'm gonna start off with Happy Soul, which is this deep brown shimmer, and I'm actually going to use my worker brush from Sonia G because I want to see how this applies with a brush. You guys know that I personally love applying shimmers with my finger, but oh my gosh, oh, if it applies well with a brush, y'all, that is it. This is so beautiful. Okay, and I'm not trying to like over exaggerate or anything, but honestly, I had very low expectations. As someone who is used to Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona, that type of quality, I was like, okay, there's no way this $18 palette is gonna give me any kind of like va-va voom look or impact or anything like that. But these shimmers are nice. And yes, I know they seem kind of basic, but they are not the type of like crazy indie sparkle. This is the soft sparkle that I be telling you all about. That soft shine where like if you don't want your lids to be the main character in the story, you would like something like this. And as you all know, that's been my vibe lately. Like, I don't want overly shiny lids. I just want it to be there. And also, from a professional standpoint, this is what is appropriate for me when I am working or traveling for work. So far, your girl's impressed. Okay, that's absolutely beautiful. And it applied really well with the brush. I also want to acknowledge I'm using the Sonia G brush. And for the most part, Sonia applies everything well. So that could also play a factor. What I'm going to do though next is I'm going to go into All Good, which is kind of a greenish shade. And I'm going to use my finger for that because I want to see the difference between the finger application and that brush application. So I am like, you know, how I typically do, because this is my standard go-to look. If you want a simple look, you guys, just lay down some mattes and then blend two shimmers together, like one dark, one light. And you will end up with such a beautiful eye look. That's what I do 95% of the time. Sometimes I'll give y'all a little halo, and it's about time I do one, but when I just need to keep things simple, this is what I'm doing. Yeah, I think that this is still a really nice soft application with my finger. Okay, so you guys see the vision, you see what I'm trying to do, create that really nice gradient, this very just sort of warm eye look. So I'm gonna go finish up the eye look, and then I'll come back and we can start putting the rest of the products on the face. Okay, so I have a very, very light layer of foundation. Well, I don't even know if you can call it foundation on, but I'm using the Blurring Balm Powder by Danessa Myricks as my foundation today. So let's go into concealer really quickly. I just wanted something a little bit light. Like, I'm not trying to do the most today. Okay, so I added a little bit, and this is like, oh Jesus, why is this so hard to spray? So I'm going in with my Sephora 71. Is this considered? Yeah, it's considered the concealer brush, and I'm going to use that to blend out this concealer. I do have a little bit of acne scarring at the bottom of my face, but I'm not worried too much about that. If it peeks through, it peeks through. I'm not exactly going for full coverage here. And then going back in with my foundation brush. This is again from the Domestic line. And this is such a fast way to put on foundation, y'all. I'll do like a full like review on this like 5-minute makeup face thing blah, blah, with this new shade of this blurring balm powder, which suits me better. It's not an exact match, but I can make it work, you know. We can zhuzh things around. Okay, so next up, let's set the concealer. So I'm gonna go in to this. Oh, I didn't think that through at all. What did I think was gonna that was so dumb. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but okay. Oh my Jesus. Now I'm covered in powder. And it's kind of staining my shirt. What is... Okay. I'm gonna have to wash my pants. There's a lot happening right now. Okay, so a couple of thoughts. There's no individual cover on these shades. So I'm like, how do I just get one of them out? That's weird. It's like all of the shades come out at the exact same time, I guess. You can't just get one of them out. So I'm trying something. It's the worst design I've ever seen. So I popped a little bit into this container. Come on, light. I just spilled it in. I just spilled powder into my coffee. Jesus be offense. Okay, so I tried to pop a little bit into the container. We have a little bit of pink, but it's mixing with that dark brown, and it's mixing with this very, very light shade. Because what I wanted to do was to take the pink. So I'm gonna try to get pink by itself. I have it on my brush, tapping off a little bit, and I'm gonna use that to set this side of my under eye. Oh, she is dry. And also this side of my face. So this is just the pink powder. And I'm just kind of setting around my mouth. Well, at least I tried to get just the pink powder. I must be doing something wrong because that packaging makes no sense. Anyways, I'm setting one half of my face with the pink powder. Then using the white one, which is on the bottom here, you can't really see it, so I don't know what I'm trying to do. Flipping my brush over, I'm taking the light slash translucent powder now, and I'm gonna do that on this side of my face. And you can probably already see, I'm adding more than I typically would, that this is yellow compared to this pink side. Again, I have a much heavier hand than I typically would because I want you all to see the difference. So, this is the pink side of the face, the translucent slash yellow side. And I think that translucent powder is just too light for me. I'm surprised how nice this pink side looks. Like, that's not bad at all. Okay, that being said, the way in which this powder is set up is not smart. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna keep using this. If you can't get one particular shade, you have to get all of the shades. And then the last one that we have is this dark brown, which I guess I could use to set the rest of my face. Like, this is the color of that dark brown, which, would it set the rest of my face? I don't know, but listen, that's what we're working with. I am covered in powder. There's powder everywhere where it shouldn't be. Let's go ahead, let's keep pushing. So I'm gonna set the rest of my face with my Born This Way powder from Too Faced. I know my face is extremely dry looking right now because I added a lot of powder. So I'm going around the perimeters of my face, really. The perimeter of my face, not perimeters. To set the rest of my face. Now for bronzer, I'm going in with my LYS bronzer. This is in the shade Strength. I have a huge pan in this, and I'm actually trying to empty this completely. So I've been using this kind of non-stop lately to see if I could empty it. Next up, we have blush. So I'm going into the that ombre blush. It has a lot of kick up, so be very, very gentle, you guys. So I'm tapping some of that off, and I'm starting kind of high. Okay. Ooh, that is pigmented. Again, it's kind of starting high on my cheeks and running that down. There is definitely pigment there, you guys, so be careful. But this is a pretty matte blush, but I feel like there's a little bit of a sheen. Not like too obvious, but it's a little bit of a sheen. She's pretty though. But I can see how it would be very easy to go overboard and get kind of clownish. But what I do think that this pigment means is that if you are a deeper complexion, ooh, this is gonna look stunning. Like, I know this is a bit much right now, but I will tone it down. So just don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Okay. I'm loving that. That is really nice. Now, one thing I'm hesitant to do, but I want to do because I'm trying products for you guys, is I want to try one of the multi-chrome liners. I'm hesitant because I really like how this eye is looking right now, and I don't want to ruin it, but I kind of want to see what this multi-chrome can do. So, pull you guys in a little bit closer, and I'm going to attempt to like kind of do a little bit of an outline of my black liner with the green multi-chrome because it has that kind of green gold to it. So I'm hoping it doesn't ruin it at all and just gives it like a little extra oomph. And I don't know if I want to line the whole thing, but I obviously have not thought that far ahead. So go with me. We are just playing kind of. Do you guys see that? So what I'm actually doing is I'm running this directly over my black eyeliner. And I'm being very, very gentle. And the pigment is showing up. It doesn't look crazy. Okay. This also isn't tugging, it isn't dragging. And because that one performed so well, let's see what that blue does. This just escalated so much, you guys. So I am doing the same thing with the blue. Just dragging it over the black eyeliner. Oh, this is beautiful. And it's creamy, it's not tugging. Okay, that was a good decision. I was very, very, very hesitant. I thought I was about to ruin everything, but turns out that was actually a really, really good decision. Okay, since we are playing in drugstore today, I'm actually going to use my Maybelline Master Chrome highlight, which is broken. I think I stepped on this. So she's in rough shape a little bit, but I'm going to use the highlighter. I believe this is 00, yeah, this is 100 Molten Gold. And it's an intense highlight, but it's so beautiful. So I'm just gonna use that as the highlight. See? So intense. So I'm gonna use that as the highlight for this look. And I am also gonna go ahead and plop that into the under the brow bone to give me a little bit of that highlight there as well. But see, she's blinding. And I do tend to drag it up a little bit higher, like right over the eyebrows. And I know I'm doing a lot right now with this face, but just give it a second, it will all kind of come together. Just give it a minute. Again, plopping that into the brow bone to pull everything together. Now, I know you think this look is done, but not quite, because we have to go back into the waterline to finish this up. So let me get a pencil brush. So I got a really basic, simple pencil brush, and I'm actually gonna go into Tempting, which is that really dark brown that I was tempted to use as my outer V corner, but did not do that. And I'm just gonna plop that into the outer part of the eye here. And then finally, to pull these two-toned eyes together, you've probably guessed it, I'm gonna take the green and put it into the inner part of the waterline on the blue side, and then take the blue and put it into the inner part on the green side. Okay, this is turning out so much more exciting than I thought. All right, so you guys know the drill. I'm gonna go ahead and add some mascara. Do a little brushing of my hair to pull everything together. Oops. So I'll go add some mascara, brush my hair, and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look. Okay, y'all, this is the final face, and you can probably tell from my smile, I'm quite happy. I feel like this turned out really, really nicely. Now, I showed you guys the eyeshadow, but I'm gonna bring it back in a little bit closer again, just to see the under eyes from that powder. So we have the yellow again on this side, and then the pink on this side. Quite frankly, I thought that the pink looked good, which is making me very curious about some of these other brands that have pink powders, because I don't know, something about the pink side of the face, it's cute, in my opinion. Now, the blush is really, really nice. I did go over it with my powder brush, as I typically do after I'm done with my face. Just kind of blend everything together, soften it a little bit. But I don't think it took away that blush. I think it's still very, very obvious. Very, very bright, pigmented, still super nice. And the lip oil, now that I've been wearing it for a while, it's kind of like died down. I like this better than the application because I feel like it gives like a natural tint to the face. But I will say, like I said at the beginning, this still feels like a lip gloss. I don't know what it is. The texture of this is thick. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm quite undecided on it because I think, yes, it's thick, which definitely means that it's going to last longer. Because one of the issues that I have with lip oils is you have to constantly reapply. But with this, I don't think I would have to reapply as frequently. And it does give a nice tint to the lip because one of the other issues with lip oils is that they tend to look the same regardless of whatever shade or color that you pick. At the end of the day, it kind of all looks very clear on the lips. So I like the tint that this gave. It's very natural, very light. So I don't know if about the formula. I'm still like, I'm not sold on the formula because of how thick it is. And I just think lip oils are supposed to be lighter. But the wear down is nice. So this is definitely something I could see myself using as like a hydrating thing for my lip as I'm applying the rest of my face, and then maybe wiping it off and putting on like an actual lipstick. That's kind of how I think I would use it. The multi-chrome liners, those are really nice, you guys. I think that they perform so well in terms of that they're smooth and they don't drag or pull on the eyes. That's one of the things that I cannot stand with liners. Our eyes are already super sensitive, and the more you like manipulate this area of the face, the older you'll start to look, and your girl is trying to keep all of the wrinkles away for as long as possible. So the fact that it doesn't drag, it doesn't pull, it doesn't tug, it is a very, very comfortable experience, does make me very, very excited. The eyeshadow, as I showed you guys up close, really nice. Now this definitely is borderline satin, but not exactly, because you can see that pigment. It goes back to some of these softer shadows that I tell you guys about all the time which are typically the luxury ones, you know, the Tom Fords, the Esams, the Visearts. This might be closer to like a Viseart, but it does have some nice shine to it. So I'm quite impressed. The mattes blended like a dream. You know how I feel about a matte eyeshadow. But I will also say that I use brown mattes, and it's kind of hard to mess up a brown matte. If you can't make a brown matte, it's very difficult. So what I'm actually excited to do on my next time trying this palette is to play in the greens, because I think that if these greens are patchy, it will show me where the flaws are with this palette. But overall, I think this performed so well. She's chunky though, and I wish that they made this thinner, because there's absolutely no reason why this should be so thick. Because even like this, like there's like a divot in here. You see that little divot? So like this is just too thick for no reason. So I hope that they can make this slightly thinner. They do have a number of other palettes in this format. Like I said, this was a part of a series, so there's about 4 maybe palettes in this, but I wanted the most neutral one. Okay, let's get to what I didn't use. Obviously, I didn't get to put any of the liquid shadows on the lids, but I will say that they did dry down really nicely on my hand. So I am intrigued enough that I do think that I might want to pair some of the mattes in the palette with 1 or 2 of the liquid shadows to see how they look on the lids. I'm quite excited by the brand so far. Now, I talked about the powder very briefly in terms of how I like how it looked in the under eye. What I am confused by is the packaging of this, because like I said, when you guys saw me open this, and this is so messy at this point, when you saw me open this and I peeled off the sticker, I assumed that there would be sort of like individual, this is causing so much problems right now. There would be individual covering for each color section. That way you could choose to only dispense pink, only dispense translucent, or only dispense that deeper shade. That isn't the case. So I don't understand why you would create a loose setting powder with 3 different shades, but you can't dispense 1 at a time. So it doesn't make sense, because if I turn it over, every single shade is going to pour out. So what was the point? Maybe I'm missing something here, but that packaging doesn't make sense. What I'm curious though about now is I wonder if they have those powders as individuals. Like, could I just buy the pink, or just buy the translucent, or just buy the deep? I'm intrigued enough to probably dig a little bit deeper into it, because the price is right. So there we go. And yeah, we talked about the blush. Superb, beautiful. I love that kind of ombre, and the fact that you can go either deeper, richer in terms of choosing more orange, or you could go lighter and choose a little bit of like the yellowish shade. So there is some level of control over the amount of pigment that you get. And I think that's it, you guys. So far, quite impressed. Really looking forward to trying this. I didn't say this at the top of the video, but this was also very, very heavily requested by you guys that I finally review Moira. So I hope that this helps in case you are interested in checking out the brand. I definitely recommend it. I definitely think that if this is something that you are interested in, consider picking up a few products. I do know that there are also some influencer codes probably floating around. So while this is cheaper than drugstore in a lot of cases, you can still get an extra discount on top of that. I used Ali, which I think is Ali Glein's discount, and I was able to save, I think it was like $17. Let me double check that, because I saved a pretty chunk of money. Yeah, with the discount Ali, I saved $17.70. So it turned out to be really great. Anyways, I want to hear from you guys down below. What did you think of my face? What do you think of my face? What did you think about the look and the individual products? Are any of these interesting to you? Would you like to see more? Is this a brand that you've tried before, never heard of, and would you be interested in picking up any of the products from them? As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already done so and you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out from me anytime I upload a new video. And I hope you guys are liking this kind of like new, different addition to the channel. As always, I appreciate you guys so much more than you know. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!